Country Club. You hear the pipers in the background. It is time for the final, the open final of the 2010 Goldline TCA Men's Bonspiel. The Richmond Hill Country Club and the Leaside Curling Club taking each other on in this final. Richmond Hill skipped by Jordan Keon. Leaside skipped by Adam Beck. I'm Mike Wilner. This is Brad Savage, 2009 Ontario Men's Provincial Finalist. And in 2010, well, why wouldn't he get back there? Maybe we'll even take the thing to the Briar this time. And we're pleased to welcome you to our curling coverage here on Rogers TV. And we are looking for a pretty good open final right here between these two teams.
Yeah, we just saw a great seniors final. We've got two young teams. Both of them are riding 6-7 game winning streaks. Obviously playing well all week. Looking forward to a great game.
It's been a tough week, and it hasn't been a week where they've played at the same club as well, which makes it even more difficult. Let's take a look at the Richmond Hill Curling Club right now. This is their first year together. Jordan Keon, the airlift, emergency airlift skip in for this game. Mike Madden will be the vice. He used to skip this bunch. Curtis Samoy is your second, and Kevin Roberts is your lead. It's a little different to have a different skip than you've curled with all week long, and that's going to be something for Richmond Hill to deal with.
It will be. They've had a bit of a revolving door this week. Their regular skip, Greg Ballston, is actually competing in the challenge round to try and get into the men's tankard provincial, where my team will be competing in a few weeks. So Greg played during the week, but these guys have obviously held it together without their skip.
And your team, of course, will beat Greg's team. The Leaside Curling Club, they've been together for 4 years. This is Adam Beck's rink. He's the skip. His vice is Paul DeVrent. Gord Chardankis is the second, and throwing lead stones will be Craig Thompson. They were up here just before everything got started. They're good and loose and ready to go.
Yeah, they look pretty loose heading into this game. Obviously, a few hours to kill between games. They just played their semifinal this morning, so they've had some time to recoup and recharge for the final here.
That's been a long day. Semifinals went very early in the morning, and now time for the open final. And up next, the first rocks will be thrown. We'll be back with the open final of the Goldline TCA Men's Bonspiel right here on Rogers TV. We're back here at the Thornhill Country Club. It is the open final in this TCA Goldline Men's Bonspiel. Mike Wilner here, Brad Savage there. And we're going to bring you all the action. Richmond Hill and Jordan Keon's rink against Adam Beck's Leaside rink. Richmond Hill will be throwing the yellow stones. Leaside has the hammer in the first end. And Brad, we're underway with Kevin Roberts throwing first. And there goes the first rock of this bonspiel.
I did notice where they called this first shot, but that's going to be your indication on how they want to play off the start here. So this looks, well, it's going to go right through. So they probably figured the ice might be a little crispy to start the game, but looks like it's got some nice speed to start the game here.
It looks like, and these guys are not holding back, and there's Kevin Roberts. Now Craig Thompson in the hack. And there he is. His first stone.
Halfway's good.
So they've got an opportunity with the opposition rock going through. They've got an opportunity to get a guard up here.
Both these teams were loose, having fun, relaxed before this game. Both of them noting the tremendous irony in the fact that they're both wearing yellow and black. It's going to be hard for us to tell them apart. I said as long as your rocks are different colors, we should be okay. And let's keep thinking that way. Here is Richmond Hill after, again, pretty heavy throw there the first time around for both these guys.
Yeah, that could be a bit of nerves, a little extra adrenaline to start the game. This will be the biggest game these guys play in this year, most likely. So, probably a little nerves. I don't think either one of them have been at the final of this event before. So this is a big deal for both these teams.
We had Jordan Keon's rink in a 2007 bonspiel here on Rogers TV. But Mike Madden, who is the third, was skipping that rink then. And Keon was playing vice. So they've been under the lights before, though not for a while. This is Craig Thompson's second shot.
Well, it's nice catching up with Kevin Roberts, the lead on Keon's team. Kevin and I went to high school together eons ago, it seems, and we actually curled on the Markham District High School team together, and we lost the provincial schoolboy final. So Kevin's been in some big games himself. Moved down to the States for a few years, and good to see him back curling again.
And then, of course, Kevin went on after high school to play third base for the Blue Jays and win Rookie of the Year in 2003.
He's bounced around a little since then, but yeah, he's really established himself as a major league player.
Yes, he has. Just signing a deal with the Atlanta Braves, the Eric Hinsky lookalike. This is Curtis Samoy.
It's the biter. We're at 3. Line sucks.
And again, this first end, both these teams that have not had a chance to be out on this ice since this morning. There wasn't a lot of practice time after the seniors final. So we have this feeling out process here early on, getting a feel for the ice as well as getting a feel for each other.
Yeah, I like the seniors game. These guys have played against each other. They're not club mates like we saw, but they have played against each other in the Provincial Colts Championship. So there is some familiarity. Obviously, one team like the other team's jackets. Nice. So I think they split the first 2 games. So this is the proverbial rubber match here. But the difference here is they both played on this ice this morning, so there shouldn't be as much research they need to do in the first couple of ends here. They should have a good idea of what the ice is going to do, and they should be able to get a little more offensive to start the game here.
Second shot for Curtis Samoy. They don't like it. Now get a piece of the blue, knock it out, and roll. It's wide open there.
Yeah, it's always good to roll over to a new spot in the ice, especially in the first end. Change the shot up a bit for the other team. Just keep moving the rocks around, gives you a good idea of what the ice is doing, seeing different shots.
This is Gord Smerdenkis. They get one.
Nice little roll there.
And the roll behind the guard. This is the men's final of the TCA Goldline Bonspiel here at the Thornhill Country Club in Thornhill. Yonge Street, almost right between Steeles and the 407.
Nice little roll there by Gord, and really forces Jordan to play an aggressive shot that he may not be comfortable playing this early in the game.
This is Mike Madden throwing his first stone of this game.
So the key, you heard him, he can't be heavy here, so it's a bit of a guess on line and weight. You can see this really hang out there.
Sweepers are completely off of it. Can't be heavy, but it is.
Yeah, his weight was obviously not ideal, but line was just as bad. So, I mean, even with proper weight, it wouldn't have been a very good result for him.
That'll put Paul DeVrent in the hack.
That's exactly why you don't like playing those come around freezes, you know, halfway through the first end, because you're guessing at line, you're guessing at weight, and suddenly you're in a heap of trouble here.
You're solid, Pat.
This is not very close to what he was playing.
He's not on this at all.
It's a big miss. They had a chance to get one half around there even and set up a potential big score here.
These guys are really having a hard time with this ice here in the first end.
So you can see the way Mike sets up in the hack. It really shows me that his out turn is going to run very, very straight. And you may see his in turn curl a lot more than most of the other players. Just he's sliding out at a much different angle than most of the other players. So they didn't like short as an option there, but I think that's probably a little bit better than where his first one ended up.
Well, if you say you didn't like it, you still like it more than he did. He said short's terrible on the way down the ice.
Yeah.
Which is all well and good after you let the rock go.
Yeah.
So these teams are kind of muddling through this first end of the open final.
We've seen a few misses in a row, and this is a situation where, you know, it's almost like next made shot wins. You know, either Adam Beck's team is going to get a rock around here and get a 3-end set up, or they're going to let Jordan get off the hook here and kind of draw his way out of the end here. It's heavy again.
Still overthrowing him, man.
And as you hear from the ice level, just overthrowing him. That's what's going on. So it's Skip Stones here in the first end. Jordan Keon settles in, and Keon, again, as we mentioned in the open, has not been with this team all week.
Yeah, he played this morning, and he played last weekend as the regular skip Greg Ballston would have been competing in their regional playdowns.
Jordan Keon is the weekend skip of this team.
Line only. Line's not good.
These guys are all club mates. They know each other really well. So that appears to be really easy for Jordan to step in and fill in admirably for Greg.
What's that time? I got a 70 there.
It's going to be a little heavy as well. Here's a question, though. When your skip leaves, especially when you have a Mike Madden who skipped a rink before,
yep,
why wouldn't you move one of your regular 4 into that position and bring somebody else in to fill another spot?
You see it work both ways. It really depends on that specific team. So I know that in Greg's case, you know, he plays competitively. He's one of the top skips in Ontario. Plays a lot with his own regular team and plays with these guys during the week in the club. So in their case, I think it was just easier to leave everybody where they are. They obviously had success with Mike at third, and just there's less change to have one guy come in and fill in for the position that's vacant.
But does that mean that he'll run the show a little bit less than a regular skip might?
Potentially, but I think you might see Mike having more input on strategy and things like that because he'll be more familiar with what the front end's capabilities are. So you may see a bit more input that way. But as I said, these guys are all, you know, it's not like Jordan's a complete stranger. They all know each other. They've played together plenty before this week. So they've probably played together more with Jordan than actually with Greg.
This is Adam Beck, the Leaside skip. His first shot of this men's final.
I don't think that's heavy, guys. Line's good.
And as he lets it go, he says, I think it's heavy. What else is new?
We've seen a lot of that this end, haven't we?
Back 8 all the way.
They're calling back 8.
Line's real good.
Back 12. Back 12. Freeze. Freeze.
It's a very straight spot in the ice there. That's obviously caught both teams off guard.
Make sure you're back to it.
They're going to have to make note of that for later in the game when they're trying to get around guards with that turn.
It's all right.
Try it, Adam.
He's got to make a decision.
So he's line 2. I mean, not what he was calling, but not a horrible result. So they do have to make a decision here whether to try and come in and potentially try and steal a point or force him to make a tough shot for one, or he can play a more defensive shot and make a play on the rock that Adam just threw at the back of the 12-foot there. He does have to be careful.
Sorry, early on in the first game, we see Kevin Roberts ditching the vest, working hard already.
Didn't take long, did it? Well, and they haven't done a ton of sweeping so far this game. A lot of the rocks have either been wide or heavy or both, so the sweepers actually haven't had to do very much so far. This is a little scary for Jordan because we've seen this out turn up the center line run very, very straight. So he's got to figure out where that rock actually will curl. It's going to cross the center line and maybe make a bit of a move, but if he hangs this wide open, he's risking giving up 3 in the first end.
Jordan Keon with his final stone of the first end.
Line's pretty good. Yep. Hey, line's good. Come on, boys. Line's great. Yep. Top 4. Yep. Top 4.
We got room, though. We got room.
Yes. Hey.
Trying to ease it on in there to the forefoot.
Good job, buddy.
Great shot.
So there he is, the weekend skip, throwing a pretty shot. Taking a look now at Craig Thompson, the lead for Leaside.
Trying to get to the nose, right?
And we'll listen in on the discussion.
As long as you don't have to throw, like the same weight I just threw.
Yeah, that's what he's calling.
No,
come back.
I'll take a look, man. That should be close.
I think he's just throwing.
Got to get by pretty skinny.
Well, bump him back, take your line.
I can see quite a bit of that.
It's a great shot that Jordan just made, especially in the first end. First end of a final to get about a
Bump him back for one.
Yeah, just bump
third of a
for
rock
2,
buried.
Right? If we get close to the nose, I don't know if it's there, but
Oh, I thought you were going
a
to
little less.
hit what you could see to lie too.
Yeah. But we're jamming.
See, they've been running heavy so far in this first end.
Yeah.
This is a tough shot.
Adam
Hair look
Beck
okay,
trying to
guys?
pick
Kind of
up
weight you.
2, maybe 3.
He can either just chisel this straight sideways, just hit a tiny sliver of that rock and get 2 that way. He's trying to curl as much past that guard as he can
Very straight arrows.
and possibly bounce it off his own blue and score that way.
There it is, last rock of the first end.
Talk. Yeah, no,
Leaside with a chance for 3.
Line's good.
Yeah, really?
The only way he can get 3 is to punch it between his own 2
Gotta
blue
curl.
rocks.
Got to curl, Gord. Back line.
Yeah, go for 1, Paul.
I got to go. I got to go.
Calling an
Gotta
audible
go.
now. And they knock back the yellow
Beck,
and they'll
that's
take
fine.
their 1.
It's a good safe shot there.
So Leaside opens the scoring with the hammer in the first end. And Adam Beck's rink takes a 1-0 lead over Jordan Keon and Richmond Hill.
Yeah, that was the pressure.
Here both skips acknowledge how straight that spot in the ice is there.
That's something they'll definitely be keeping their eye on now. So the hammer moves to Richmond Hill.
think it's quicker than
throwing
last end?
yellow. So Blue Rocks first,
it's gonna
and
be
first
the
is
floor
Craig
and high,
Thompson here in the second
Gonna be
end of
the
this
floor side.
8-end final of the TCA Goldline men's bonds
Now,
field.
line's real
The
tight.
Thornhill
Oh, line's
Curling
fine.
Club.
Hurt it. Can't hurt it.
Mike Wilner and Brad Savage with you here on Rogers
Yeah,
TV.
tighter the better. Tighter the better.
Can't hurt it.
We'll see how these teams adjust to the speed. Both teams missed a lot of shots
Hard.
heavy,
Come on, guys.
either right through the rings or
Great sweep.
behind the T line.
You've got nerves working. You've got the fact that it's been an awfully long day, 6 hours between games, between the semifinals and the finals for these 2 rinks. And, you know, you've got the TV lights going on, too.
Yeah.
And not only can that affect your nerves, I'm sure, but does it affect the ice at all?
Copy.
It can.
Oh, don't touch it.
In a
Look
curling
at
club
it
like
behind the
this,
tee.
it can warm things up a bit. So you'll see the ice react a bit differently, potentially can soften it up. Not to mention you've got
Nice shot,
4
Kev.
other games going on out here. So, you know, lots of warm bodies, creating a lot of body heat, but nothing that these guys haven't dealt with before.
Nice draw there by Kevin Roberts in behind the guard. This is Craig Thompson again.
Wouldn't be.
Line's real good. Line's real good. Top 4, what you want. Line's perfect.
like you were saying, 6 hours between games is it's a lot of time to kill between games. It can probably felt like 16 hours for both of them.
Right up to it. Yeah, all the way. Yeah. Nice throw.
They wanted to freeze and they were short, and that's part of the problem too now, Brad. They've seen how heavy the throws have been because the ice has been quicker than they thought. So now you overcompensate and you leave them short the other way.
That's a great point, Mike. I think you are seeing a bit of that as they just adjust and find that weight. I think you'll see that once they do find it, that they should be pretty good after that. But obviously nerves come into play, and just guessing, typical first-end guesswork on the ice.
Kevin Roberts had the terrific draw the first time, now comes right up, and there's your freeze almost.
That's a nice little freeze there. Another inch of curl would have been even better, but they're setting up some angles at the front of the house there. So this is a much more typical end, start to an end, that you'd see in top-level curling here.
Go here. Speed should be good here, right?
Adam Beck making the call for Gord Smerdenkis.
Lots of room, looks heavy, can be heavy. Pull it off. Room. Yes! Hard! Hard! Oh, wait on.
Brother, we're bumping.
Yeah, we have to get high.
Interesting that this is that same spot in the ice that going the other way runs very straight close to the center line, but they actually got a lot more curl than they were expecting there. Almost too much. He just got by that top guard by probably about a half an inch.
Gord Smerdenkis, evidently a Arizona State fan.
More like Hackley or something.
It's a nice juxtaposition of Arizona and curling. I don't think they have too much of that down there.
Not a lot in common there.
This is Curtis Samoy, his first rock.
Whoa. Yep. Hard. Hard. Hurry. Hard.
This one took off on him too a little bit.
Sit down.
They didn't want that roll.
Two more.
It didn't roll to a terrible spot. They've got a nice setup on those two front rocks with the yellow rock frozen to the other blue rock.
Leaside throwing blue, Richmond Hill yellow, and it's 1-0 Leaside here in the second end.
So Adam's got to be a bit careful here.
Aim for T-line, give it a tap. It's all right. I think right here.
Richmond Hill with the hammer, but trailing Leaside 1-0.
Adam figures he can make a bit of a gamble here and try and make a freeze here.
Yes!
If he ever bounces off, he does have those two rocks lined up in the front of the house there.
Wait till there! Wait till there! Wait till there! Wait till there! Wait till there!
Wow.
Just got it by. Great communication by the sweepers, letting him know that the weight was there the whole way.
That's the first time they've been happy with the weight on a throw probably this entire game.
You're right.
Look how it just sneaks by both those rocks.
Yeah, Adam knew that line was questionable, so they kept the sweepers on it for line. Ended up with a great shot.
Now you have Mike Madden and Jordan Keon discussing the shot. Sounds like Madden won the argument there, so that goes back to your point of the weekend skip, that the third's going to have a little bit more input.
Yep. And
Curtis Samoy.
Even though Mike's not throwing, I expect he'll have a fair bit of input for just that reason.
Hard!
Ooh, just by.
Knocks out the two blue.
Suddenly line 4.
Not sure I deserved it.
And
Little
Curtis
fortunate.
Samoy coming over there saying, not sure I deserve congratulations for that.
Sure, he'll happily take it though. Just got by that top guard and gave him a better angle running that blue rock back to kill the other one.
And now Paul DeVrent's going to sit in the hack looking at a house that's awfully yellow.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some smoke here. This one looks tighter than the last one.
Just hold it so we can take it off.
Okay, good try, guys.
Might not get around that guard, and he's not going to. He wrecks on the guard. And you heard Mike Madden just say to his third, this looks way too familiar. So something's gone on with a house looking like this.
Well, I think
Yeah, or just freeze it. But if we can bounce off it, though.
We're gonna leave him a double no matter what.
I don't really like that. I like rolling the other way.
I just don't want to give him a double, like hit something and roll behind everything else.
something back 8. Okay.
Back 4? Yeah. And actually don't be heavy, because we can pop this back and set up a pocket with this turn.
Yeah, the missing plate.
Yeah.
You want to throw the in turn, give it a go.
I already threw it once. I'm good now.
lots of chatter in the hack, which I hope Mike is comfortable with. But when the front end's talking about a lot of different shots and what you can and can't do,
Can we go across the face?
once you agree on the shot you're playing, you really want your thrower, regardless of who it is, just to be completely committed to that shot.
No, we're deep. No. What am I going on?
Yeah, go.
You get the tap.
Okay.
And it sounds like they've been in this situation before. So maybe they had a situation where the end was set up so well early, but they couldn't capitalize on it. They're trying to learn something from that.
You can get to the nose, it's not bad, I guess.
What about on the nose, Adam? The center line one.
Paul DeVrent wants to try the nose hit and see what kind of carnage he can do in the house with that.
What kind of drag you got happening here?
The way the angles are, I'm not sure he can get rid of any more than
In terms of clearing
a
out,
couple. Like, saving grace for him is there's no guards up anymore.
Yeah, you might get this double. Might get lucky there too. Try
He
here.
thinks he can take out 3
Normal.
with that nose hit. And we'll see what Paul DeVrent's got here.
just off nose, I think. It could be more than that. Well, main object is score 2.
Oh yeah, real hard for a piece. Hard. Still got a chunk.
Gonna have to bring that back. It's not going to be a nose hit. It's not going to be anything. And it flies right through.
Doing some math here. I think the 8-ender's still in play here.
There are 3 rocks to go. It's true. 5 in the house.
Wouldn't that be something in the final of a huge bonspiel like this?
Mike Madden and Jordan Keon can end this thing right now.
With no guards in play, clearly
It's going to be tough.
Adam Beck only has
Top 8.
a takeout as an option, so
Yeah, hard line.
pretty easy to lob one down there and hit one of
Hard,
6
guys.
rocks.
Hard, even if it's heavy, hard.
This all started with
Lose
that
everything here. Go.
that double raised, short little raised double takeout on the Blues.
Okay.
Better than through.
That'll serve as a guard.
Bearing freeze.
Pretty much take the 8-ender out of the equation.
Yeah, well, I think they'll look at the house and quickly realize that, but think they'd be quite happy with getting 3 or 4 here.
Down to Skip Stones here in this second end. Leaside with the 1-0 lead over Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill trying to take a bunch back right here.
At least the 8-ender might be out of the picture now, so that's.
Oh, there you heard the 8-ender comment. They did see it was in play.
And once you got
The good news is
one out there, you can take the jinx off and mention it.
Well, it is sort of like a no-hitter. You know, you kind of acknowledge it, but you don't want to say anything.
I was thinking corner.
Adam Beck getting advice from his second Gord Smartankis about an out-turn draw.
Smart call. If they are going to play a draw, that is an easier shot playing around the guard that Jordan's team just threw.
Let's see. Here's their shot at it. Try to sneak one in there. It's not a real pocket, but there's room.
Playing this cold, and the only advantage to playing this over, say, the out-turn is with those 2 yellow rocks clustered at the top 12-foot. Even if he did make a perfect come around, he may leave just a short little double raise to kill that rock. So that probably that was part of the thought process here.
Just one. Hard! Hard!
Gonna get one up on the top of the 12-foot. Push off a little bit.
Comes up short, but leaves his shooter there, so at least gives him an option. Option on his last one.
But he's got to do some major damage with that last one.
He sure does.
5 yellow stones sitting right now as shot rocks. It is 1-0 for Leaside throwing blue.
Jordan's talking about playing a little split on the yellows, but the only rock that can hurt him right now is that blue rock that Adam just threw. Adam doesn't even have to make it that great if he does leave it for him. He just really has to tap it into the 8-foot to cut the end down.
He's got to try to come around.
That's not all bad. I mean, the angles are better now. Like, that's what I was thinking. Cross the face.
As long as
He's getting a bit greedy here.
He's wide open, not sitting there. And 6-foot run is just 6 at worst.
What are you guys thinking? Hitting?
Yeah, for sure.
You have to. Well, we can make what you do.
And Kevin Roberts, the lead, says you have to hit it.
If we make it, then he doesn't do much. Yeah. We can make a tap, but
Taught him well.
Kill this blue one.
Yeah, I think I like this
Okay,
better.
all right. He has to draw again. Sure. Play the hit. In turn, edge.
So I thought you were already calling the hit.
Yeah, I thought that's what you called.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, this tap.
Might be a bit of a difference in the dynamic there to your earlier point that, you know, Jordan's in skipping the team for this event. He might be more open to suggestions from the existing team. In a lot of teams, you'll have a skip of an established team just flat out overrule and say, you know, I'm comfortable with this, I'm playing it.
Easy. Easy. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yep.
Going for the hit on the blue, and he's got it. Knocks it right out. But the shooter is high.
Yeah, we need to push that.
Yeah, they had to keep that rock on the nose, which would have made Adam's draw much more difficult. He would have had to go out wider. So he's basically given him the same draw.
And Adam Beck is going to try to save what could be a very, very ugly end against him. Got to get that draw in for one to make life difficult for Richmond Hill. Jordan Keon's apologized for that shot probably 5 or 6 times in the last minute.
So this is one that, the way those yellow rocks are lined up, he almost doesn't want to make it too good and just leave Jordan with an automatic, just hit the yellows at the top and run them into the blue. So I think his best outcome here is just maybe to even kind of bite the top 4-foot, maybe a third buried, something like that. and just at least make Jordan make a decision on how to get rid of it.
Last shot for Adam Beck, facing 5 without the hammer.
He's hanging out there. There it goes.
Here comes a curl.
Got to bury it now.
You know what? That's not bad. That might
A little bit heavier than he wanted, but he's left Richmond Hill sitting only 1 and more than a third buried.
Yeah, that was that's not a bad outcome there. That rock is probably about 3/4 buried. No real angles up at the top of the house there. And he's got a really good chance to cut this end down to even just a deuce, which would be a major victory.
There is still a chance that Richmond Hill winds up with a 6 here. But it's become unlikely because of that shot by Adam Beck.
Yeah, really saved his team's bacon there.
Oh, okay, sorry. Thought I heard you say
Jordan Keon's
you can
got
throw
a
back
decision to
line
make.
anyway, and just if you move it into our other ones, we're shot, right?
We're already shot.
This is the last rock of the second end. Richmond Hill throwing yellows,
this is not a
trailing 1-0.
Wow, I think it's all right, it's not there.
The only other
Mike, it's not
alternative
there.
he has is an out turn here, but that rock appears to be fully buried, so I'm not sure he could get the curl necessary after the guard to make that. On swingier ice, that out turn
there
would
ever
be
any
there
real raise
to
on
play a
these?
shot
What are
rock
the
onto the
angles
blue rock.
No idea. I think so. Gonna drag maybe.
I'm trying to figure out now as we see looking at those 3 at the top.
We can play with the.
Straight draw side button.
Yeah, let's play this with like back house weight.
So
I
this
think
is
we're trying to hit
actually,
it here, eh?
if they've conceded that they can only get 2, this is probably an easier shot. Just to pop this into the forefoot.
Okay. Right there.
Playing it with weight, he does risk killing his own rock and actually giving up a steal, which going from lying 5 or 6 to giving up a steal would be just an absolute disaster.
Okay. Play this with the backline hacks. Okay. What do we need to do?
This is
Just to
one you
get
just,
into the forefoot? Is that what we're doing?
Ideally, he gets into the blue one.
Oh, okay.
Gotta hit it a bit high.
Okay.
Speed on this side similar.
What's that?
Speed on this side similar.
Yeah.
Or less.
after having such a good end setup, it is a bit frustrating just to concede only getting a deuce.
Boards!
But just have to take your lumps and move
Boards
on.
at least!
Throwing this a lot harder than he planned to.
Let's see what happens. They're not happy about it. They wreck and give up. Take the one. They'll take just the one and tie it up. Wow, that could have been a huge end for Richmond Hill, but Jordan Keon, couple of shots he'd like to have back, and instead it's 1-1.
See, Adam Beck's team very relieved that they only gave up one there. That could have been ball game.
Opportunity for a huge end there for Richmond Hill, but didn't come through, and now Leaside takes the hammer into the third end in a 1-1 tie and a very different game than what we could have had.
We'll see how they respond to it. I'm sure there's a little frustration there that they couldn't capitalize on such a good end setup there. So a lot of times you'll see just such a shift in momentum there. One team dominates a certain end, and the last couple shots don't go their way, and then they have trouble stringing shots together the following end.
All right, guys, everything's good.
So we've got to be careful here.
Yeah, for now.
Kevin Roberts starts
Can't
this
have
one
none of
off
that
by
other
setting
than
up
how
a
we're
guard.
playing. We like 4.5.
Nice center guard.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
Free guard zone means the first four
Remember, we're going wider now,
shots
right?
cannot remove a guard.
Anyone's been out here yet? That should be lots.
Line's real tight.
Should be lots. Should be lots.
Whoa, we can chip it. Yep.
Should be lots. Yeah.
And a 1-1 tie here in the third end at the Thornhill Country Club.
No, we're caught in between.
He's going to hit that guard,
Get it in if you can.
but keep it in play.
Not sure what he was playing there.
I'll take it.
Which ended up being a decent result because he had at least hack weight there. I think they're just playing a straight come around. So let's try and replace that guard, get another well-positioned center guard for Kevin here.
Line's a little tighter. Line's tight. Okay, well, it's starting to overcurl now.
Another center guard.
Nice.
Oh boy, Kev. Great shot.
And this will be Craig Thompson. Baseball analogy is not just happening up here. We just heard from down on the ice. The Leaside team felt like they got out of bases loaded, nobody out.
Yeah, they sure did.
They pretty much did. It's true. They could be all but done right now, and instead we're in a 1-1 tie.
Oh, Paul, we need it in the rings.
A little heavy. Craig Thompson.
Those are 2 misses for Craig. Now Jordan's got a chance to get one around here and generate some momentum.
And this is Curtis Samoy.
Back 4, back 8. Just gonna slide. Okay, leave it. Okay.
Not as heavy as they thought, and that's a little bit different.
That one did stop sooner than they thought it would.
This is the men's final, the TCA Goldline, Thornhill Country Club. We're in the third end in a 1-1 tie. Leaside and Richmond Hill.
Close.
Adam's got the hammer back here, so they're going to try and just get a rock in position here.
Sorry, guys.
It looks heavy again.
Still not hitting it.
Got a lot of trouble with this outturn going away from the glass.
And it's not going to come out. It's just biting the back of the 12-foot.
Wonder why they may not at least try the in-turn around this guard. They've had a lot. Both teams have really struggled with this out-turn. This one's running straight as well.
Watch it. Coming in a bit, but not certainly not as much as they thought.
No, they're getting a bit of finish there, but I think at some point, you just sometimes as a skip you get in a rut. You're so determined to make a shot that you've missed as a team a few times that you forget that you've got other alternatives. So I think it might be at least worth a shot trying that in-turn, because the out-turn certainly hasn't worked out for them yet.
Gord Smirdankis. Going on that side again.
Gord struggled with his out-turn a little bit coming the other way. So Adam gave him very aggressive ice here. She made it the hard way.
Cleaning house there, Gord Smirdankis. And we move to third stones.
So without the hammer, Jordan really doesn't have much of an option but to get rid of that rock at the back. If the situation was reversed and he had the hammer, he could play more aggressive and try and get around one of those guards.
Those are the ones that can sneak up and bite you at the end of an end, as it were.
Yeah.
Just got to get rid of it. And that's what Mike Madden's trying to do.
Finish off.
Looks good.
Okay.
Just enough. And the house is now empty for Paul DeVrent.
So you get in a situation late in an end like this where you get a center guard up, and when you've got the other team's rocks outnumbered 4-3, 3-2, the team with last rock has a tremendous advantage. And you see a lot of situations with wide open houses where, a 3-end gets generated out of seemingly nothing.
Lots of room. Are they like back here?
Once again, they're trying that out turn.
Oh, stay with it. Back 8.
Got a little wide.
I wonder how many times they're both going to miss it before someone tries the in turn.
Back 8. Back 12. Okay, just gotta. That's fine.
Awfully deep. Again.
But Adam was smart. He recognized that the line was no good, so he made sure his sweepers brought it back. Had they stayed right off it and that rock would have stopped on the tee line wide open, suddenly that would have left a hit and roll for Jordan's team. So good call by Adam there.
Just control. Clean it. Whoa. We got nose, I think. Okay, that's fine.
And they'll take that one out. Leave shooter there. And give Paul DeVrent another chance.
So they've elected to just forget trying to draw around that guard. They'll try and get one behind by hitting and rolling. Wide and heavy, not a good combination on this spot.
Take it, Gregor. Okay. Yeah, it's very fast.
Hanging his head in dejection there.
Yeah, not a complete miss, but certainly not what he wanted.
No.
At all. That's shot rock, and it's sitting behind a fully guarded.
Going back to the out turn.
How much of it is comfort? How much of it is stubbornness? And how much of it, too, is just trying to reinforce for later in the game that this is a shot at some point you guys are going to have to make, so why don't you make it now?
Well, the only guy in the sheet that has made this shot is Jordan. So if you remember the first end, he made a good come around to against the other team line 2 to really save the end and force the other team to 1. So Jordan has made this shot before, but the rest of the 7 guys out here have all tried and failed. So,
well, here he is, Jordan Keon, Skip Stone trying the out turn.
Got room. We're there.
Line only
And don't sweep. Whoa.
And they're liking it. Pretty shot by Jordan Keon.
much better than anyone else has done. So he's got that about a quarter buried, and not quite a steal situation yet, but Adam's got to make a good shot to leave himself something makeable with his last.
We're in the third end here of the Open Final, the TCA Goldline Men's Bonspiel at the Thornhill Country Club. Mike Wilner and Brad Savage. Pleased to bring you all the action here on Rogers TV. It is a 1-1 tie between Jordan Keon's Richmond Hill Curling Club, Adam Beck's Leaside Curling Club. It's Adam Beck who's making his way back to the hack right now, throwing blue with the hammer here in the third of an 8-end game.
So what Jordan's done, even just getting that rock a piece buried, with it running so straight here and both teams struggling with the shot so much, is could be a little extra doubt in Adam's mind here. Sounds like they're just playing nice controlled hack weight. Just get this rock off the button.
Close. Whoa. Close. Say close. Whoa.
Looks pretty good.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
Sweepers on it,
Roll
and
it.
we'll bring it right to it.
Yep.
Okay, that's the best we could do, pretty much.
It's about as good as he could have done there. Just get the rock off. Hope that Jordan doesn't make a nice roll back behind that guard, and he should have either a wide open hit against 2 or a draw to the 8 foot for his 1.
Because you still have the button to draw to. Right? Because if you get like top 8, you'd be top 8.
Jordan Keon's made a couple of nice shots so far.
Like that one there, look at it, it's top 4. It's not wrong to top 8. Oh yeah, because ours
He's also made one that cost him back at the second end.
Jordan's got to be careful here. If he steps his weight up at all, we've seen rocks run really, really straight here. If he ever pumps his weight up a bit and hits half of the outside blue, he could jam it on his yellow one and suddenly give up 2. So he just tighten up the ice a bit.
There it is, last shot for Jordan Keon here in the third end. Not going to get a roll at all, but takes away the opportunity for Adam Beck to pick up 2.
Hit and roll or double? Or just
Hit or a draw.
oh.
Yeah, I guess. Same way.
Try for the roll.
Oh, nose is fine.
He can just nose this rock and take his 1.
Beck and Paul DeVrent talking it over.
What are you gonna throw?
Just can't afford to roll inside at all, but he's got a good 7-8 feet to roll. He just has to stay in the 8 foot.
You're not going to get more than 1 here, very obviously. So, how much of a decision will he?
Yeah, I can see that.
Not much of 1. I think he for
A flop inside would be better, eh?
But they've seen so many rocks down this spot. They know it doesn't curl. And he can take tight ice, let his sweepers hold the line here, and take his 1.
The hit and stick with a little room to roll for 1. A miss.
Yeah.
And it's a steal of 2 for yellow. This is it. Last rock here in the third end.
That's down. Whoa! Whoa! Close! Go! Whoa!
Everybody's happy. Not too much of a call.
Yeah, really
rock
nice,
will hit
really
and
nice
sit.
shot there. Just nice controlled hack weight. I like Adam's delivery. He's got, throws it pretty straight up. Nice release, controls his weight well.
And 1 more for Adam Beck. Leaside rink. A 2-1 lead for Leaside here in the open final. Everybody picking up 1 each time they've got the hammer. But the last time that Jordan Keon's Richmond Hill rink had the hammer, they had a shot at picking up a 6. Let's see what they've got up their sleeve this time as we begin the third end.
Hopefully he's put that behind him, and they're in a good tight game here. Got the hammer back, so all you can do is set him up again and just hope for a different outcome.
This is Craig Thompson.
Jordan may be kicking himself a bit for his first rock of that end. Had he nosed that guard and stayed right there, I think you would have seen that draw around would not have been available.
Thompson sets up a guard.
Yeah, much better weight from Craig there.
Here's Kevin Roberts.
What? What? Mine's bad. Yeah, hard now.
Good shot by Kevin. Nice weight there. So important for those lead stones to be above the tee line, especially in a close 2-1 game like this.
Where do you want it, Adam?
Top 8.
Yeah.
Top 8.
Oh yeah, you're like 3/4 tight.
See if Craig can follow up that good guard with
Should be
a
lots,
nice
close.
come around here.
Let's get tight. Yes. Whoa. Close. Heavy.
We've lost one of their players here temporarily. Oh, there he is.
Gord Smartenkis is back. Sometimes just got to go.
Well, nothing wrong with a little bio break. It is a long game out there. Gives me an indication of what they were maybe doing between games.
Well, they had a lot of time. So.
Yes, you can get into a lot of trouble.
Yes, you can.
Try to wait till halfway down to sweep it.
I've been there myself.
Here's Craig Thompson with his second. It's the 4th end of an 8-end game, the men's final. Here at the Goldline.
The line, boys.
And it is 2-1 Leaside over Richmond Hill.
Yep.
Richmond Hill with the
good,
hammer, throwing the yellow stones.
Yep. Keep going. Gotta get by this one. Okay, good.
And another nice draw from Kevin Roberts.
Great job, buddy.
Came to play it today.
Sneaks it by the one guard, by the next, and right in, freezing on shot rock.
Yeah, really nice touch there too to make 2 good come arounds, one after the other. He's really set his team up for a good start to the end here.
Close.
Spoken like a true lead.
Well, us leads have to, watch out for each other, You're right, it is an underappreciated position, so
It is.
just giving him his due.
There's a nice little end around there as well.
Yeah.
That was Gord Smartenkis.
Well, we're seeing, this has been a really well curled end so far. So I think both teams are comfortable with the draw weight. Skips are comfortable with how much curl is out here. So the result is we're seeing more made shots.
Well, like you said earlier, once they find the weight, make things a lot easier, make the curling a lot better. And so far, it seems that is exactly what has happened. Here's Curtis Samoy.
Not only the throwers, but the sweepers are more confident with judging the weight as well.
Yep, yeah.
So they feel more confident in telling the skip where they think the rock's going to end up.
Yeah, hard line. Hard. Line only. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, to get by. Let's freeze it. Whoa.
Another nice shot here.
Another one. Wow.
Yep.
All lined up in a row. Just a tiny
Pretty
nick
real heavy, eh?
off of the blue rock up there. Otherwise, it would have, well, might not have had much left anyway.
No, but no, it's a good shot there. He's again kind of just another rock clogging up the middle. He's lying 2 buried. So it looks like Adam's going to try and move some granite around here.
Gord Smartenkis going to let this one go. Got to get past the guard, do some damage,
Doesn't look
but
like
he's
he
not
will.
gonna.
No.
A wreck.
So Jordan's got a decision to make here. He's got a couple rocks in the 8-foot. Angles aren't great for him. I think with some weight, those 2 yellow rocks could be removed. So he's got an option to either play a guard. He can essentially replace that guard. He could come into the rings and try and lie 3 to set himself up for the shot following.
So lots of rocks remaining here.
The shot to play here actually might be to try and double. They could double those 2 blue rocks. He's calling the nose hit, but if they ever catch it a hair high, and he could just chip that blue rock out of the little cluster there.
They are keeping it loose and light there. That was Kevin Roberts.
I'm not sure whether Jordan sees that shot. But it's a situation where playing that double is probably just as easy as the shot he's calling.
No, it's not between them.
Go, Kevin.
That was not going to do.
It's got to be
No,
out.
he's not. He got the one blue, took out a yellow, and now there's... That blue will hold on to the back of the 12-foot, it appears.
It's got a little wide. We haven't seen a lot of play on that side of the sheet. We've seen so much on the other side of the sheet that it looks just as straight with the outturn on the center line there. It's really a new piece of ice that the teams haven't seen a lot of rocks down.
This will be Paul DeVrent throwing third stones for Leaside. It's a very different looking house right now than it was about a minute and a half ago.
Sure is. This doesn't look too good for Adam's team. They got one out. They really held the line there nicely.
Got one, and now there's nothing left guarded except that biter at the back. I don't even know if that's in or not, but I'm going to guess that it is for blue.
That looked like had it got a piece of the line, it could have overcurled and left an extra yellow rock in there, but they were able to get one out. So now Jordan's just got to figure out how they can lie two and get their deuce and take the lead here.
It is 2-1 Leaside, as you see on the screen here in the fourth end. Richmond Hill with the hammer.
I know.
It's still fairly early in the end.
Has to be really perfect.
Mike Madden will throw his first stone. So still 4 rocks left for Richmond Hill, 3 for Leaside.
So Jordan's debating between drawing the open side or playing a hit on the blue rock there. So they've elected to go with the draw. They're just a bit apprehensive about potentially leaving a double.
Line's pretty bad. Maybe back 8. No, line's getting better.
They just want to get this rock.
Where are you?
Actually, on the tee line's not bad because it sets up a jam at the back. There's a blue rock in the back 12-foot.
Yeah, well, we'll do our best.
Okay.
What you can't do is slide through.
Well, they're awfully close, and Adam Beck's giving it his best shot. It is third shot, as Jordan Keon says. Mike Madden comes down the ice shaking his head, not happy with that, and giving Adam Beck an opening.
No, it's very important to stay second shot there. At least bite the 8-foot. So now Adam's got a chance to lie two, which is going to force either Mike or Jordan to make a double at some point. Really running straight on them. He's got to keep the shooter around, which
he may not be able to. Well, they'll bite it too.
That's close. I'm not sure if he managed to stay for second shot.
I don't think so. Looking from here, my expert opinion, looks like yellow's second.
So either way, if Jordan noses this rock, it's actually a better situation than it was 2 shots ago, just because there's so much more separation between the rocks. He did have one close to the center line, and nosing this rock actually puts him in a pretty good situation.
And that's what he's going to try to do here.
Doesn't really need to make the double. Actually, nosing the rock's better because it'll leave an angle where Adam can't really roll inside off of it without jamming his own rock.
Not quite the nose hit, but
Boy, Mike, that works.
gets the roll, knocks out the 2 blues, and now yellow's sitting 2.
Yeah, he played nice quiet weight there, so it gave him some options.
Mike Madden happier with that shot than with his last. And now we're down to Skip Stones.
There's no real double available here. He's got to be careful with this blue rock at the back of the 12-foot. So right now, Adam's just trying to roll his rock to a spot where he may get a rollout from Jordan and get out of the end that way.
And it looks from that shot that we just had there a half a second ago, like that blue rock at the back of the 12-foot is in fact touching. Can't quite see from where we're sitting, but it looks like it. Oh,
yeah, there you go.
What do you think, in or out?
Oh, that's in by a good inch or two. So those are the types of rocks where when you don't have the hammer, you got to be really careful.
Richmond Hill with the hammer here, trailing 2-1 in the 4th end. Adam Beck's first stone. He's got the lead and trying to protect it.
Whoa! Whoa! Yep! Yep! Hard!
And he knocks out the yellow and sneaks it right by that blue biter at the back.
It's a pretty nice roll he made there. He's rolled it over to the other side of the sheet in front of Jordan's other rock. So Jordan's has to deal with it and has to be careful he doesn't jam this.
Watch here as it just gets by that bottom blue, which you couldn't even see in the shot. Any sort of tick knocks it out of the house. Not that it's a terribly important rock back there, but it could certainly factor in. Now Jordan Keon will slip into the hack. His first shot here in this 4th end, an 8-end game. And a tight one so far, 2-1, Leaside over Richmond Hill.
Been a bit of a, for all the rocks we've had in play, it has been a bit of a defensive battle so far. This end's been a little more wide open than what we've seen.
Hard! 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 Hard!
Just got it.
Well, that was all sweeping there.
That was not far from disastrous.
So earlier, Mike, that little blue nibbler there really was not a very important rock, but it sure is now because it gives them a chance to lie 2 and force Jordan to a single point. So a little inconsequential rock at the back of the house suddenly is going to play a major factor in the end.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Skips hate hitting rocks at the back of the house. They don't have to play these types of shots very often, so very tough to hit and stay on a rock that's biting the back 12-foot.
Adam Beck with his final stone here in the 4th end, trying to knock out the yellow, split the house.
Bit of panic out of his hand.
Hard! Hard!
If he misses, there's a chance for a draw for 2 for Jordan Keon. Doesn't look like he's going to miss.
Oh, he's good.
And he'll roll, and blue is now sitting 2, but a very open draw for 1 for yellow.
It has to be a bit frustrating for Jordan being forced to 1 after lying 2 for a good part of the end. So they've had a couple of ends that they've had set up well and just haven't been able to close them out.
Second end set up brilliantly. This one's still pretty good. But now any piece of the 8-foot, and he's got his 1, and we're tied after 4 ends.
So he should be pretty comfortable with draw weight at this point.
It's all there, I think.
Seems pretty happy with it as he lets it go.
Important for the sweepers to tell the third where the weight is, whether they need the backing of those rocks at the back of the house there.
Job, Jordan.
Yeah.
They look pretty happy with it, just giving it a firm clean here.
Doesn't look like Leaside thinks there'll be a problem either.
No.
That's going to sit nicely. And 1 for Richmond Hill, and through 4 ends, we are right back where we started. Leaside has the hammer, and we're tied. It's 2-2. Amazing when you look at how these first ends have gone and how different things could have been, that we're sitting here 2-2.
Definitely. I mean, both teams have had chances for multiple scores, and just to end up with 4 singles is a bit surprising. So interesting to see. This is a situation where the first deuce could win the game.
Just trading punches, little jabs back and forth.
It's waiting for the big right hook here at some point.
Kevin Roberts setting up a guard.
Sorry, guys.
To start this 5th end. So it's a 4-end game right now. Anybody have an advantage?
Right now, no. I would say that tied playing 6 is a lot different. Once we get into a situation where if you're tied with the hammer playing 6 ends, it's that even end scoreboard management. But right now, I wouldn't say that either team has a significant advantage.
Hammer's not in our favor right now.
Leaside has the hammer here. And the 2-2 tie in the 5th end, just getting underway here in the 5th.
I mean, you obviously prefer to have the hammer in any situation that you're in, but I think the key will be if Jordan's team can hold them to 1, score a deuce in 6, then they'll be in control of the game.
By doing that, you have a 1-point lead going into the 7th without the hammer. So you try to give up the 1, take the hammer back in the 8th end in a tie game, and you're looking pretty good.
You got it. Now, conversely, if Adam can put a good end together here and get a deuce, then suddenly he's in a great position. It's just all about, you just want to have that last rock coming home, whether you're tied up or 1 up with. Even 1 down with isn't a horrible situation.
Mine's only good if Wade's great. Oh boy.
Made a nice come around there to start the end for Craig.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, we don't have a line for that.
And Kevin Roberts will try the same come around and
Okay, Kev, nice toss.
makes basically the same shot. But knocks Craig Thompson's rock a little bit farther behind the guard.
He did, and he kind of popped him in behind the guard there, and the shooter flopped open a bit. So as close as he was to a good shot, it's not a great result.
Craig Thompson's 2nd stone.
Just a nice little roll away there. So it's good start to the end. Good end by Craig. He's bounced back after a rough start.
I think these guys really needed to get, we talked about how loose they were, but I think maybe they needed to get refocused a little bit after such a long break between the semifinal and the final.
That's a good point. I mean, just to get out in the flow of the game, it sometimes does take an end or two, especially when you don't have a practice before the game. You basically get piped on the ice, you shake hands, and then you're right into it. In another playdown type events and provincial competitions, you've got each team has a 10-minute practice before the game. You're able to get your rocks figured out and get comfortable with the ice. But here it's a different ball game. You hop right in the hack and away you go.
Curtis Samoy, whose shot you just saw, a nose hit on the blue. Really not quite what he wanted. And now Gord Smirdankis.
We're going to try and roll in, but even just rolling a little bit closer to the center line is a pretty good shot. They do have the hammer here. They've got one in behind the guard, and we'll love to see that stay there for a few more shots.
And the same shot there, another nose hit. Knocks out the yellow. And Smrdenkus doing a little bit of sweeping back there, just on the other side of the hog line. Little landscaping. They can try again right on the nose, although they're moving over one now.
They're going to try and run this yellow guard straight back into the blue one. You could see Mike waving his broom up and down there, which indicated they wanted to play this run back.
That will simply, if it works, go from having yellow guarding blue to yellow guarding yellow.
Close.
It's close. Good shot.
Good shot, but no longer yellow guarding yellow as the shot rock is open. And Gord Smrdenkus is going to try to get rid of it and see if he can wind up with his shot rock guarded.
It's a pretty long way to roll. I think he just wants a nose hit here and hope he gets a rollout from Jordan's team, and then he'll have a chance to try and draw around that guard. Fair bit of movement out wide here. This is surprising.
Got it, rolled it, an awfully long way.
It's a good shot. Not what he was playing, but having last rock, that's a good shot.
And now here's Mike Madden. 4 rocks to go in this game still. Continues to be incredibly tightly played.
Well, Mike's going to try and make a double. Just run this blue rock straight back and split off the rock that Gord just threw. These guys both seem pretty, they all seem pretty comfortable throwing the up weight.
Sweep it, Kev.
He's staying out.
Go.
Okay, pretty good, Mike.
So he got rid of the guard to open up the back one, but would have loved to curl up another inch or two and make the double there.
Missed by a fair bit on the double.
That out turn side, it's almost a situation where you have to keep tightening up the ice a little bit more and more until you actually miss one tight. Both teams have missed so many shots wide over on that side of the sheet.
That's Paul DeVrent, the third for Leaside.
So they've got an option here. They could try and draw around that guard, or they've chosen to go a little bit more conservative and just draw the open side and lie two, get some separation between their 2 rocks.
They're going to keep that above the tee line.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it does leave a double for Jordan Keon here.
And he wants it right now. These guys, I think, enjoy throwing with a little bit of weight here.
I think they enjoy it. You know, younger guys like throwing these crosshouse doubles.
Yeah, hard. Whoa, yeah. Hard. Really hard. Roll it.
Just gonna get a nose hit.
Not gonna get it.
No. So now actually the play's, Adam's probably gonna nose him back, and just having that rock, 2 rocks higher creates a much steeper angle and a much tougher double that Jordan probably can't afford to try.
It'll be fun to see him try.
Very risky, but we may see it. But if they do nose this rock, it'll be almost completely out of the 8-foot, so I think he'll then have to go over and play the rock biting the 4-foot on the other side of the sheet there.
Yeah, the 2 rock differences it turns out to be huge in your angles. This one's coming back, looking right for the nose. They'll get it just like they planned it.
Yep.
And we're down to Skip Stones here in the 5th end in a 2-2 tie. Men's final of the TCA Goldline here at the Thornhill Golf and Country Club. Mike Wilner, Brad Savage, bringing you all the action.
So being Jordan's first stone here, he is going to make a play on the shot rock. Had this been a bit earlier in the end, you might see them maybe try and play the rock in the top 8 and get a roll behind the center guard that way. But at this point, it is later on in the end, and he's got to try and get something in behind that guard and get shot rock.
We have not seen an end played yet that's resulted in more than 1 point being scored. They have gone 4th and back since the beginning. You hold the hammer, you get 1. That's been the story of this game, and both Jordan Keon and Adam Beck are trying to change that here.
Well, Adam's got a chance to get 2 here, provided if Jordan doesn't make the roll here. You know, Adam's played a fairly conservative end, but he's been in a good position for most of it.
Here's Jordan Keon's first stone of the 5th.
Whoa! Whoa! No, never! Never! No!
Wants him right off of it. He won't get the nose, but he gets the roll, which is what he was looking for.
Not sure why they were saying right off. I mean, his line was great the whole way down. They just had to sweep it a little bit to keep it behind the guard.
And it didn't stay, as we see. It rolls a little bit too far.
You could see it make that little move. It made that little move just before the rings and finished hard, actually, for as straight as it is over there. They did get a fair bit of curl the last 8 or 10 feet.
Not much of an opening there between the 2 guards, but there is one. Not between the 2 guards, pardon me, between the yellow guard and the stone at the edge of the 8-foot.
Yep, this is available. He did roll it about a rock too far, so he is just barely wide open. So Adam's got a chance to come down, and if he can nose this rock, Jordan will have a tough one back at him. If he could ever get it a hair inside, Jordan might be forced to hit that wide open rock that's just partially in the 8-foot there and concede a deuce. Which, as you were saying, looking at the scoreboard with nothing but singles up there, a deuce is going to look pretty ominous out there.
And here's Adam Beck settling in. And here it comes.
Looked like he just feathered that outward a little bit at the very end. But he is getting some curl here, actually.
Trying to thread that needle.
So I was saying we haven't seen a lot of rocks over here, so this might be a bit of a guess for him.
Gets it past one and the other and rolls behind his guard. Well, not even his guard, but he's got 2 now and protected.
So Jordan's got a pretty makeable double right back at him to get out of the end here. A couple of ways he can make it. He can either try and hit it on the center line side and probably roll his shooter to the other side of the rings, or he can hit it a bit high and roll out to the outer 12-foot there.
And if he can knock both these out, then he'll force Adam Beck to try to take 1, which has been the pattern so far in this game. Everybody with a hammer has taken 1, although the house definitely not as busy here in this 5th end as it's been in the past.
No, it has been more wide open, and if Jordan is successful in making the double here, provided he doesn't roll a shooter behind the guard, which I don't think he can do both, then Adam will have an attempt at a blank, and he'll have the opportunity to keep the hammer playing the 6th end. This isn't made yet, though.
Last stone for Jordan Keon here in the 5th.
Jammed it.
And he broke his broom in frustration. Jordan Keon jamming it, leaving a blue as shot rock and leaving a chance for a draw for 2. In frustration, Pete Townsend's his broom.
You see Craig Thompson doing a little spring cleaning up there at the middle of the ice, trying to get all the the damage off the playing surface there.
All those little plastic pieces. Don't know if we have a shot of that.
Well, technology with curling brooms is really advanced. There, you know, when brooms get shattered, the breaks are much cleaner.
Not like the old days. You have to spend 10, 20 minutes cleaning up the ice after someone broke a good old straw broom. Mike Madden, it seems like, is trying to control his laughter.
Well, the carbon fiber technology does a lot less damage to the ice, too, than the old wooden brownie heads.
So here's the last rock. Adam Beck here in the 5th end, drawing for 2. And a 4-2 lead.
A little help from the 3rd man here to guide this one into the rings.
Everybody's on it. They need to get into the 8-foot and leave it there just past the yellow. They will. And it's our first deuce of the day. Leaside gets it, and they've got a 4-2 lead through 5 ends. So finally, Brad Savage, finally a crooked number up there.
Yeah, that's a big momentum swing, too. So interesting to see how both teams respond to this one. We are getting on in the game here.
And Jordan Keon, the skip of the Richmond Hill, has to find a broom.
He's got to find a new weapon
for the rest of the day. It is 4-2. Richmond Hill with the hammer need a deuce to tie. And that's what they're going to try to do here so that they can do that scoreboard management for to get the hammer back in the 8th end with a chance to win it.
Well, Mike, not being a curler yourself, I mean, the rules in the PGA are if you break your 7-iron,
you don't get a 7-iron anymore.
No, you've got to play the rest of your round without a 7-iron.
Yeah.
I've always been of the belief that if you break your broom during the game, you've got to play the rest of the game without your broom.
Sounds good to me.
I have no idea.
I don't get to make those decisions, though.
There's the opening volley from Craig Thompson. And Jordan Keon just took Adam Beck's broom. So
grab one out of the old club rack there.
There's a ton over there on the club rack.
Yeah, I think a lot of those brooms are older than some of Jordan's team, actually, by the looks of them.
But he just took Beck's broom there to point out the shot.
Of course, in baseball, if you've seen, was it Bo Jackson broke his bat over his knee? You just go back to the rack and grab another one.
That's right. Bo even broke one over his head once.
That's right.
Tony Hovnars from the Richmond Hill Curling Club, the seniors team, has given up his broom now to Jordan Keon, and that's the one he'll use for the rest of the game.
It's the benefit of having your many club mates in the same event.
That's right. Senior and open. The Richmond Hill team, skipped by Rick Harper, won the seniors event for the 2nd straight year here at the TCA Goldline. Last year in Mississauga, the final, this year in Thornhill. The tournament played all over the place, not just all over Ontario on a yearly basis, but all over the place on a weekly basis every year, not staying with one club.
Well, the Bonspiel's got a tremendous history. I think this might be something like the 115th annual. It's the longest running annual event in curling. And I was doing a bit of reading. The game about 100 years ago, they used to play 22 end games, and they had teams of 8. And each guy threw one rock. I'm not sure how many sweepers they had, but
that would be something if you have 6 sweepers.
Yeah. I don't think I'd want to be broadcasting that game, but quite comfortable with the 8-end games here.
Yeah, 22 enders are kind of special in their own way.
It's like a cricket test match almost.
5-day curling event. Gord Smartenka is going to take advantage of the end of the free guard zone and remove that yellow guard.
So Jordan's in tough here. He's got to try and get something going here, and he's got no guards in play, so he's going to try and get one position well here, make it tough to peel without risking a jam on Adam's own rocks here.
Jordan Keon's Richmond Hill rink trailing 4-2 here, but with the hammer in the 6th end.
I'm sure the regular skip, Greg Balsden, is probably checking in between games, trying to get some status updates here.
Put that guard right back up.
It's in a good spot, about halfway, and it's difficult to remove because you can see the 2 blue rocks there. I mean, obviously hitting it right on the nose is no good because then it gives them a chance to come around. So they've got to try and figure out a way to remove this rock, lose their shooter, without jamming it on either of those rocks in the rings.
Gord Smardankis, who took out the last guard with his last shot, aiming for this one as well. And he's going to get it, but not without disturbing the blue and knocking that guard into the ring.
We got a break, kids.
Well, suddenly Jordan's got, he just caught the break he was looking for because they put that guard in such a good spot.
All right, I'll try to slide a little.
Now it is still early in the end, so he's making the right call, just guarding that shot, even though it's not shot stone. A lot of inexperienced teams might be tempted to just hit that blue rock and try and lie 2 and get your deuce that way, but it is still second stones. So they've got an opportunity to guard their rock, have Adam Beck waste a few rocks peeling it, and then later on in the end, they'll make a play on that blue rock and lie 2.
It's Curtis Samoy, got to get it over the hog line. And he will. The guard set up again.
It's a good shot. Good call, good shot.
And now we're up to 3rd stones, and Paul DeVrent hops into the hack. A 4-2 Leaside lead here in the open final of the TCA Goldline men's bond spiel. Coming to you from the Thornhill Golf and Country Club.
Removed the guard and rolled his shooter a little bit, so he's fortunate that he didn't leave his shooter guarding the yellow rock.
This is open now.
So that'll change things for Jordan a little bit.
Jordan just checking in with his 3rd Mike Madden, making sure that that yellow rock is in fact open.
You can see him asking Mike for input again here.
Okay.
Very accommodating skip, letting Mike throw what he wants.
Control. Whoa. Clean, yep. Yep. Shooter, take it.
Gotta go, Kev. Gotta go.
It's a good shot.
Good boy, Mike.
Good rush, buddy.
Kevin Roberts getting some congratulations for his skill with a broom from Curtis Samoy, who was sweeping with him, and Kevin Roberts said, well, I got my pants stuck in my shoe there.
Well, they're getting a bit more of a workout, these sweepers, now than they were earlier in the game.
I like standing right here. Just, you know, camera pointing straight again.
Paul DeVrent with the hit and stick to knock out the yellow stone. But now it appears as though Richmond Hill is sitting 1. Shot rock is yellow.
They are, and because it is fully in the 8 foot, it's tough to ignore. So I think he's elected to try and just nose it and hope that that Adam Beck doesn't make that long 6 foot roll on his next one. And as we're getting kind of deep into the 6th end here, it'll be interesting to see how these teams start to deal with the pressure of being in a close game in a final of an event where you had 152 teams start out.
Clean. Yep.
We're left with 2.
Yep, okay.
And there's your nose hit. Richmond Hill in yellow with the hammer, looking to pick up 2 to tie this thing up going into the 7th end, so that they can regain the hammer for the 8th and final end and hopefully only be down 1 for their sake.
So there may not be a double available here. Those rocks are not parallel, but he'd have to really fire it to make the double. But what he can do is roll over just beside it, almost using that other yellow rock as a catcher, and end up with his blue rock dead behind his blue guard. With the ice he's taking, it looks like he is going to throw up weight here.
Well, here he is, the skip, Adam Beck, with his first stone here in the 6th end. Got some weight behind it.
Well, he's close. Just had to come up a little bit more. He would have rolled right over behind that blue guard. You can start to see the ice as the game wears on here in the 5th, 6th end and beyond. You'll start to see the center line get a bit soft. So rocks that are rolling across the center line, you'll see them kind of stop a little sooner than they look like they should. So you got to keep an eye on that, especially draws coming into that part of the ice later in the game. You know, we call it gets fudgy a bit. So something that the players will keep an eye out for.
And a good look at the ice along that center line right there. And there is more than enough of that blue shot stone available for Jordan Keon.
Yeah, so Jordan's options are he can try and roll his shooter back over to the open side of the sheet, or he could, if it does come up a bit on him, he could roll behind that guard. He just has to be careful that he doesn't leave Adam an easy double to get out of the end. But he is in a great position to get 2 and tie this game up.
That was the key going in after giving up the first deuce of the game the end before.
Just board.
They get a solid board.
Oh, we got
Solid board.
We don't have it, Mike. What's going on here?
Well, this is really riding out.
These guys cannot believe it. Nothing. They liked the weight, and then all of a sudden you heard we don't have it.
Yeah, no, he had nice controlled weight there. Just they either took a bit too much ice, or he might have just thrown it a bit inside out, which isn't the first time we've seen that in this game with a lot of the players' out turns.
Just heard Jordan Keon say, "I know how to throw a rock," trying to convince himself. So last rock here for Adam Beck. Jordan Keon with 1 more to throw, but Beck looking to take out the yellow stone and leave 2 blues sitting in the rings. And that puts Richmond Hill in a bit of trouble.
Sure does. So this rock is partially buried, so it'll be tough for him to hit and stay without bringing that guard into play. But I think he'd be fine even just rolling out, just killing that rock and forcing Jordan to try and blank the end. This is running awfully straight as well.
It is, but it's not going to miss.
Yeah, nice controlled weight and kept his shooter around. So he's forcing Jordan to a single point here.
Jordan's going to have to hit that blue stone in the 8-foot.
Yeah, Jordan's got to regroup, just forget about the shot he just threw and just focus on throwing the right weight and releasing it clean at the broom. Just heard him apologize to his front end there.
Again, he's doing a lot of that earlier in the game too. Wonder how much extra pressure he feels being the guy who wasn't with this team all week when they were doing so well.
Well, I bet there's part of that.
This is the final stone of the 6th end. Jordan Keon trying to knock out the shot stone for one.
He's got to be careful here. He's cut his weight. He's thrown it a bit inside. The sweepers are really holding it, though.
If it gets away, it's 2 for blue. He's going to hit it. He's going to roll a little bit, and that's going to be 1 for yellow. But 1 is not enough right now. We are through 6 ends. And Leaside leads Richmond Hill 4-3. Leaside will have the hammer in the 7th end. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back for the final 2 ends, maybe 3. It's the open final of the Goldline TCA Men's Bonspiel on Rogers TV. Welcome back to the Thornhill Golf and Country Club. Mike Wilner and Brad Savage here with you. We're thrilled to be bringing you the open final of the TCA Goldline Men's Bonspiel. We got a good one going. Adam Beck's Leaside rink leading Jordan Keon's Richmond Hill grouping 4-3 here as we go to the 7th end of an 8-end game. And Brad, when you're down 1 going into the 7th with the hammer, you feel okay.
Yeah.
When you don't have it, Adam Beck's got a heck of an advantage over Jordan Keon right now.
He does, and for Adam right now, he doesn't need to go overly aggressive. Just get the end set up well, get Craig Thompson's rocks in good position, and then start peeling those center guards. And make sure that you've got an opportunity to score. Jordan's team is going to have to really throw everything but the kitchen sink at him here, try and get a steal generated, and try and tie this game up.
And then they'd have to try to steal again in the 8th. There's Craig Thompson's first stone. Leaside throwing blue with the hammer and a 1-point lead in the 7th. A draw to the button is a little heavy.
Well, that's the beauty of the 4-rock rule, is it gives the team that's down late, down a point or 2 late in the game without the hammer, it gives them a chance to get 2 center guards up, and the other team can't remove them, so it gives them a chance to get an advantage early in the end.
Kevin Roberts put up that first guard, trying another.
The line's good.
Got to work that thing over the hog.
The key is just to get some separation with that other guard. They'd like that one probably another 6 feet deep, or even just a couple feet in front of the rings would have been nice.
There's 2 high guards here for Richmond Hill. And Craig Thompson's going to try to go around him.
And Craig's first rock came deep, so he's got to be careful here. He's got to get the second one in good position. Otherwise, it's if it's behind the tee line again, it's good for Jordan's team. This is at least back where the first one is.
Thompson heavy again, right on top of that first one.
So Jordan's got to be pretty happy, even though that second guard wasn't exactly where he wanted. He's got a couple guards up. The other team's rocks are behind the tee line, really of no, they're not hurting him at all. So he's just got to get one around here, and he'll be in a pretty good position to steal.
This is Curtis Samoy.
Curtis, Jordan had pretty aggressive ice for him, but Curtis looked like he threw that fairly wide. So interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see if it curls back to the middle here.
Starting to turn back for him towards the center line.
Really nice move for him, actually.
And right at the top of the 4 foot. Bottom of the 8 foot, your choice.
See Adam go into full prevent mode here.
Mike Madden again pointing out a flat spot on the ice and had that thing take off on him. This is Gord Smerdenkis. And the guard peeling begins. Tight game here in the 7th end of an 8-end game. 9 if they need it.
You can see just a fairly quick end here of guard, peel, guard, peel. I think Jordan will be happy to just guard this out and take his one. That rock is only nibbling the top of the forefoot, though. So you might have to get a bit more creative later in the end.
I hate to go too far ahead here because obviously
Want to be right here. Right here.
there could be far more than just a steal of one happening here for Richmond Hill. But if they get that steal of one, then you have to steal again. Do you try to game plan for? Do you feel like you need to game plan for a multiple point steal here in the 7th end?
At this point, no. I mean, stealing 2 and being up 1 without coming home. You know, a lot of teams just with the 4-rock rule will try and steal again anyway. So if you've got to steal both ends, it's much easier to and less risky to protect a steal of 1 than to try and play something a bit more aggressive and steal 2 and risk not scoring at all.
Smartenkus again trying to take out the guard.
Fired this inside a little bit.
And he runs it right past Shot Rock. Tried it.
And actually the worst part about that is the only shot, if they continue to guard that yellow rock, the shot available to Adam Beck was to just play down to his blue rock there and score a point that way. But he's actually, where he's rolled his shooter to, he's taken that lane away. So now Jordan can just plug up the middle here. And he's actually in a much better position to steal.
Looking right at it here from our angle, we see the wide open Shot Rock almost dead on the center line. And room for a guard with guards all around it on either side.
So they've got to be careful playing this run back here.
Try to sneak it through the middle and they'll get it.
Bounce.
But how deep?
Okay.
Ooh, that's not good. Trying to get a look at the angle here.
It's left open if Paul DeVret wants to get in there. Mike Madden not happy at all about that shot.
No, just not sure whether those 2 yellows line up on that back blue one. Looks like Adam thinks it'll hit a piece of it, which isn't the end of the world. But he does have an opportunity, it looks like, to get rid of both yellows.
And that's what Paul DeVrent's going to try to do. The bidding of his skip, Adam Beck.
Big miss coming into the rings there. Tough to know as a sweeper what to do with that. What they could have maybe tried to do is sweep it a bit just to keep the angle. But at that point, you're just hoping the thing stops.
There it is, and they got them both.
Oh,
and they do jam on the blue, so yellow remains Shot Rock behind the tee line. So yellow sits 1. And Mike Madden's got a chance now to make up for that last shot.
Yeah, he didn't curl enough to make the shot they were calling. With the rocks being so close together, it looks like the top rock he hit dragged the other yellow rock and changed the angle, and that's why it jammed straight on there. Had he nosed the rock, he likely would have made the shot he was calling, which was just to have it glance off the blue rock and go to the rings.
Line's okay. Line's
so they're suddenly in a good position again here.
It's all right. As high as you can. I don't know. Whoa,
so Mike looks like he has better weight here.
Okay, yep, past these. Yep, past them. Yep.
Wants to go past those through this hole right here.
I think it's actually better to leave it higher.
Yeah, great spot.
Because when you bring a rock parallel with the other ones, it gives the other team a chance to maybe play, like a thin double, trying to hit right in the crotch, and you might scoot your rock right into the rings. I think it would have been better leaving that rock probably 3 or 4 feet higher.
We'll see what Adam Beck's going to do with it now, or at least going to ask Paul DeVrent to do with it.
So he's got an opportunity to get rid of a couple of guards.
Final stone of the end for DeVrent. Gets rid of the one guard, but opens that hole up.
Interesting to see. Jordan's just going to replace that guard he just threw up, and provided Adam peels it again, Jordan will have probably play an out-turn draw to get a second one in there. And give himself a chance. It's awfully tough to draw the button right now, just the way the guards are set up. So he'll force Adam to have to follow him. But key is to get this first guard up.
First skip stone here in the 7th end.
Didn't feel light, boys. I don't know. Room for now. Gotta get back to center.
The first shot that Jordan Keon has taken
Here it comes. Line's
without
good,
his broom, which he destroyed on his final shot of the last end. And he's deep again.
Good one, Keon.
It's not bad.
So Adam Beck's going to try to figure out what to do here. He's got a one-shot lead here in the penultimate end of the 7th. If he can prevent a steal and take one, he's in awfully good shape coming home even without the hammer.
He's got a couple of options here. Interesting to hear to the discussion. So he's just going to play the straight peel. He does have an option to play a double peel, but the rock that's most troubling to him is that rock that Jordan just threw on the center line there. So you got to make sure you get rid of that.
Adam Beck, who has been rocking the old school TSN jacket, 1984 version. Try to keep up with the black and yellow of his mates.
Absolutely, it's the throwback jersey.
Sure is. And it's on its way. And he knocks out the stone that Jordan Keon had just put up there and rolls away, leaving that hole open again. Richmond Hill sitting 1. And if they can get it, they'd be tied going into the final end without the hammer, but they're without the hammer now.
There's that out-turn draw I was talking about. If they can try and get it into that position, just a top 8 foot. Try and stagger the yellow rocks a little bit. So one of them is, right now that rock is wide open. So to try and get a rock to partially cover that rock and be behind the guard is going to give Adam some trouble on his last one.
Jordan Keon and Mike Madden talking it over. And the decision's made.
So the one option is they could just throw the same rock they just played, replace the guard, and have a really good chance to steal. But I think Jordan recognizes that there is an opportunity to get a second one in here, put a bit more pressure on him. If he did elect to play the guard, then Adam could run that blue guard in and possibly get a deuce, which would be a horrendous outcome actually to give up 2 at this point. So I think Jordan's trying to take matters into his own hands and make an aggressive shot here.
And we'll see if it pays off.
Well, we're back to that out turn, but he made a very similar shot back in the first end, right in this spot. Very tricky spot. He can't touch the guard. Otherwise, he's going to leave a wide open hit for 2. There's not a lot of margin for error here at all.
Go the end. Back.
Small hole to get through, but it looks like he's through it. Through the guards. And it'll just sit right there in the 8-foot.
Yeah, it's not bad. Didn't vary at all. Didn't even get a corner right.
So yellow sits 2 right now with last rock coming up for Adam Beck. Is the draw there?
There's an in-turn draw there, away to curl away from those 2 yellow ones. But that rock does appear to be just wide open. He actually has a double for 2 here. If he hits it, runs the yellow onto the other yellow, hits it fairly thick.
That's certainly what he's looking at right now.
Just don't want to jam that. He could hit it fairly thick and just has to get it out of the 8-foot. Very tough, but even if he did jam it, he'd still score as 1, be up 2 coming home. Could get fortunate and possibly get 2, but at this point, you're going to be happy to score. You've been looking at a steal most of the end, so if you've got an opportunity to score, you've got to be pretty happy with that.
Beck taking a last look.
So they know this is a key shot. They're taking their time. So he'll get a better look at this once he gets down to the hack here. But this is a very sensitive spot in the ice, right at the center line. If he gets this wide at all, we've seen a lot of rocks this game that just have not come back.
And a miss costs him 2 in the lead. Though he would have the hammer coming home down 1. But Adam Beck is hoping for a far better result than that on this last shot.
You can see it just barely wide open. And getting inside it all here, we've seen some rocks curl once they've come off the center line. So he can't get tight at all, otherwise he wrecks and gives up 2.
That's our skip, yeah.
Here it is, last rock of the 7th end. Got to get through that port.
I said that's the first F-bomb of the day. Yeah.
So he's just riding that center line.
And it's staying true down that center line.
Staying right there. He might hit noses back one and
get through the guards. And he missed. He missed both yellows. And he's going to give up 1, maybe 2.
Looks like 2.
A 2 for yellow. A clear miss by Adam Beck. And Richmond Hill takes the lead going into the final end.
Well, they got their first deuce of the game. I'm not sure they were expecting it to come that way.
Katie, talk to those guys, will you?
That was the danger in that spot. We've seen so many outturns up that center line. You get it just an inch wide, it'll just sit there, and that's exactly what that rock did.
And that's what it did, and Adam Beck is replaying that shot in his mind right now as we look at him.
Yeah, Jordan made a really good last shot to force him to play that shot.
And here it is again as we see. He navigates through the port. Well, we may see it again, but then misses. Just misses both yellow stones, and it is a 5-4 lead for Richmond Hill. Leaside with the hammer coming home. That is our first steal of this game.
Yeah.
Full 4.
Lots of it.
First stone on its way from Kevin Roberts.
Beauty, Kev.
Really changes the complexion of this
boy,
game
Kev,
now.
great
Suddenly
throw.
Jordan hasn't led the entire game, and
He doesn't like making it sweet.
Let's take a look again at that final stone in the 7th end. He navigates the port right there, but runs it right by that yellow, by the second yellow as well. And that, as they say, is that. Right now, the shot of the game.
he would have been completely happy just even hitting a piece of that rock and giving up a steal of 1 and having the hammer tied up coming home. So he's got to regroup after a pretty poor shot there.
He's going to ask Craig Thompson to throw up a guard here.
Hey, nice shot, Craig. Good start.
There's a lot of other spots in the ice where you can get away with that, but that's just a very unforgiving spot in the ice.
Trying to work for one here, Adam Beck, to force an extra end.
Yeah, they got their first corner guard up. Jordan's team and Kevin Roberts put his rock in a good spot there. So try and guard this up.
Or should we go in?
Line's good. Nice and tight. Plenty of room.
So Adam's going to try and get a deuce right back and win the game here.
Line's great, boys.
Here's Kevin Roberts' second shot.
Yeah, but it's also kind of over curly. Maybe.
Yep, tight, boys. Tight.
It's been a tight game. It's been a defensive struggle, and you almost hate to see the swing happen on a miss.
Yeah.
You want to see a good shot give somebody the lead.
Well, it's all about putting pressure on the other team late in the game, and Jordan's team did a good job of doing that. So they really forced a miss out of him. Yeah, I don't think Adam necessarily threw a bad rock. It was just magnified by how sensitive that spot in the ice is.
Wait only. Top 8, top 12. Yep. Line's perfect.
Craig Thompson trying on the other side. Coming around. Sitting in the 12-foot.
So Jordan's in an interesting position here. He's got to deal with a rock that's partially buried.
Wants a freeze.
Line's okay.
Whoa, if you can, guys. Whoa, if you can.
Oh,
God.
Four's no good.
We're way out there. Way out there.
It's got to come down a bunch. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go.
Well, from what it looked like when he let it go, that wound up pretty solid.
Not a great angle for him up top there. So Adam's actually got a good chance to get on the low side of this rock and roll in behind those two guards.
Adam Beck needs one here to tie it up, wants two to win. The open final of the TCA Goldline Men's Bonspiel here at the Thornhill Country Club. The final here at the Country Club. The Bonspiel's been all over the place. Mike Wilner and Brad Savage along with you.
It's a big shot here. He's got a couple of options. Even nosing that rock would punch his other blue rock over behind the guards.
This is Gord Smerdenkis.
So we're just gonna have to communicate on wait in line here. Not a bad shot. So he's left his shooter in a very usable position there for him later in the end.
Doesn't exactly fill you with confidence to have the second so interested in what happens if he wrecks.
I don't like the guard's chances here.
See if Curtis Samoy can get it past that guard.
Lean.
Doesn't seem too confident.
Good board.
Whoa!
Oh, looks like he's throwing a good rock here.
Looks like it's going to get by. And it does, easily.
He had a lot more room there than I thought.
A lot more room, I think, than he thought, too.
I think you're right. So Adam's got some work to do here now. Looks like he wants to make a play on that rock in the top 4 foot now and open up some space for him to get some of his own rocks in there. I'm saying T back 4. It's a good shot, actually. Popped that yellow shot stone out between the 2 guards, so it's actually accessible now through a pretty small port, but better situation than it was.
Let's see it again. Blue onto the yellow. And there's where it pops out. Thick in the 4 foot, but there is a hole.
The rock he raised in is nicely covered by those 2 guards. So now Jordan's got an option. He's decided that he can't get rid of that without some risk, so he's just going to try and guard out the shot rock and guard for his life and win the game.
There's Mike Madden.
Line's good.
We're all there. We're
Top 8?
yeah.
What?
Top 12.
Okay, yep.
Tight.
Hard.
Trying to shoot that port. It's moving.
Rock picked a little bit, looked like.
It's not going to get through.
Whoa.
Bit of a wreck that just moves the port a little bit.
Yeah, he's pretty fortunate. He ended up guarding the rock. It was heavier than they were playing and actually really started curling. It looked like it picked up some debris or maybe ran over a footprint or something.
You see it opens up that hole a little bit bigger and moves it over a little bit.
So they can get at this with the outturn and even play off their own blue rock there. So again, that center line late in the game, we'll see how it reacts. It's been running very, very straight.
Here's Paul DeVrent.
Oh, looks heavy.
Back 8, back line.
No line.
Running dead straight again.
Try it. Yeah, we might.
Coming in now to get through that hole.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's no tick.
And we'll just touch that yellow, knock it back. Nice shot.
Just
by
got enough
Paul
curl at the
DeVrent.
end. Very good shot.
Started to curl just after it hit the hog line. And now blue's sitting 2.
That's where weight's so important. When you've got a spot in the ice that runs so straight down the line, if your weight's off, if you're 6 feet heavy or 6 feet light, it's going to make a huge difference as far as when that rock starts to curl. So good ice call to put the broom in the right spot, and then good weight thrown by Paul.
It's Mike Madden with his second stone here. Not happy at all with his last shot.
Kind of fed his intern out a little bit there. And he'd run straighter. He's got one of them anyway. Just missed the double.
Just missing a double.
See him a little heartbroken there.
This younger team from Richmond Hill really wears its emotions on its sleeves.
Well, it's great to see. Great to see a young team in the final, and great to see them, really into trying to win this thing. We need these young teams of 20-somethings to stick together and get better and become prominent teams in the province here.
So you can knock them off in the provincials?
You got it. Well, a lot of the top teams in Ontario, I mean, we really are going to see a changing of the guard. Glenn Howard's in his late 40s, obviously still one of the best teams in the world, but a lot of the guys like the Howards and the Madaws are into their 40s, and they've got families and other things to do other than curl. And we're going to see that next wave of teams come up with an opportunity to be a top team in Ontario.
Still no line.
This from Paul DeVrent. Starting to turn now. And we'll navigate the port and stop right up at the top of the 12-foot. Closing that hole. It is a 5-4 lead for Richmond Hill. Leaside has the hammer and is sitting 1. And we're down to skip stones here in the 8th and potentially final end. There it is, shot rock, full 4-foot. That'll tie it.
So just 4 rocks to come, as you say, and there's really not a great angle at all. I'm not even sure if the double's there.
It's a busy top of the house, or at least up top in front of the house. 5 rocks up there. And Jordan Keon, Mike Madden, and Curtis Samoy deep in discussion about what to do with those rocks.
Got a couple of alternatives. I think Mike's possibly looking at playing off their own rock
If we get some
in the outer 12-foot there.
Because even if the double does jam, it's no worse, right? It's still shot raw.
better.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
What are we doing? This should curl over.
Play on that top one.
We have to.
Yeah, exactly. Either nose it,
We don't
Call's
make the
been
in-off.
made.
We got no last shot.
exactly. Nose it and sit right there, or make the double. If we can get around to get the double, but I don't know if we can.
No, wait, Jordan.
What was a very busy ice surface now awfully quiet as all the other consolation games have ended, leaving everybody here at the Thornhill Country Club to check out this final.
A lot of interested spectators.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's lived up to it.
It's been a great game. I think Jordan's got a chance just to try and maybe nose this rock. I don't think he can curl enough to get the double. He'd really have to paper that yellow guard. So he noses it. And Adam will have a decision to make.
Close. Close. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Well, let's see. He's through. He gets the nose.
That's about as good as he can do there. So now Adam's got a decision to make. Does he make a play on that rock, or could he hit and roll in off the yellow rock out in the 12-foot there?
And he'll talk it over with his third, Paul DeVrent. See if we can listen in.
He can't take away both shots here. So it's again, we're kind of back to that's not what you make, it's what you leave. Now, if he does play the rock in the rings and roll in, then he could lie two and possibly not even have to throw his last rock.
Seems to be what Craig Thompson wants to do.
I think Craig might keep standing there until they come over and play his shot.
Yeah, he always has that. I like that.
So they could throw a center guard and guard that tap, but that would leave Jordan the hit and roll in off his own rock. So definitely some options here.
Okay, let's do it.
Lots of stuff to talk about with only 3 rocks left to throw here in the final, barring an extra end. Now they're talking about the Craig Thompson
What
shot.
about even nose?
Well, nose, then he has this. Well, you know, it gives him 2 options, which isn't bad. Nose isn't bad. Then he'll be stuck between 2 shots, right? I think he'll still play the top. Then I'll have this, right? Maybe. I don't mind nose. It's a tricky spot. We gotta leave it. We gotta leave that. There's nothing we can do.
Do this 15.
I think about boards. It's just a matter of where you want to roll to, right? I don't think you want to roll
No,
to
for the
here.
team. 15 for the team.
So I think either a little roll or a big roll.
You guys have been playing well.
But it's got to be even past center, so you can't play board at this ball. You got to play normal at this. You got to play weight at this because you want to roll 6 feet. Got to play normal. Yeah, I know he is, but let's to there, I guess. And then he's got to put it right on the button. If he makes it, we'll have something there.
Please don't let him hear it.
All right, they're overwhelmed with options, and they figured out what they want to do. He wants to get a good long roll.
So we have seen some good movement out here. We've seen a few rocks curl out wide here. So he's got plenty of room by that guard. Tons of room to make the roll here. He's got a wall of granite to roll a shooter behind.
If he can get around that wall of granite,
yeah,
to make the right contact, and that's what he's going to try to do here.
I think ideally the best place to roll this rock to is probably to the top of the button, just touching the center line and be in front of his own rock. So that won't leave Jordan with very much at all.
Here it is, big shot for Adam Beck. If he does it right, he might not need his next one.
Even close?
Pretty hard.
Even close? Even close?
Not going to get the roll he wants at all. Knocks out the 2 yellows.
I'll take it.
But takes the shooter with it. And now he's still sitting that 1 that ties the game, and Jordan Keon's got to try to make sure that's all he gets at the most. Didn't take them long to figure out what shot they were going to throw.
No, well, the other, when Adam discussed their shot for so much, I think for so much time, it gave Jordan an opportunity to know what he was going to play well in advance. I think as soon as they were playing that hit, Jordan knew that he would absolutely be playing, trying to make a play on the shot he just threw. It's interesting to see what kind of weight he ends up playing here.
That 1 blue stone is the only thing sitting in the house right now, and that ties this up and forces an extra end.
So Jordan can make a little tap here. He's just playing this with dead draw weight. Just try and bump it up to about 6 feet.
Weight's there. Real hard.
Got a piece of that center line early.
And it's going to wreck. That's not getting through those guards.
And he's even opened up that side of the sheet.
Opened up a big hole. So now it's a draw for the win for Adam Beck. Wow, it's been a rough day for Jordan Keon.
And his equipment.
Definitely for his equipment. It's made even rougher by the fact that he's not the guy who's been with this team all week long. You get airlifted in, you want to be the one who makes that big shot. Puts everybody up on your shoulders. But he's left a hole for Beck and a draw anywhere into the house. And Adam Beck is the champion. Here it is. Last rock in the 8th end. If it lands in the house, it's over.
It's there all the way.
Wall line.
There all the way.
Gotta be careful here. This is.
We got to raise.
Yeah,
Look
you're
out.
Raise.
Sweep it.
It's like they're going to have to raise that blue into the house because he's offline. And it's not going to make it, and we're going to go. It's going to bite. Wow. It's going to bite, and it's over. Just a tiny piece of the 12-foot. And a score of 2 for Leaside, and Adam Beck's rink is a 6-5 winner.
I'm somewhat stunned at that last shot there. He was just playing the straight draw, but obviously got a little complacent with the line, and maybe where he put the broom ended up raising his own rock into the rings.
Wow, and that went from a draw to a complete miss to a little help and a 2 and a win for Leaside. The TCA Goldline men's Bonspiel goes to Adam Beck's Leaside rink, and we will get Brad Savage down on the ice to talk to the champs right after this. 6-5 the final on Rogers TV. Welcome back to the Thornhill Country Club, where we have just seen a tremendous men's final at the Goldline TCA Bondsfield with Leaside skipped by Adam Beck, taking out a Richmond Hill rink skipped by Jordan Keon, 6-5. A tremendous finish, a back and forth game, no steals until very late, and then in the 8th end, the winning shot, and we're going to see it right now, after Jordan Keon wrecked on a guard to leave a hole open. It was just a draw for 2, but Adam Beck missed the draw, and you see them trying to sweep for the raise. They get it, and just a tiny, tiny bite of the 12-foot for 2, and a 6-5 win for Leaside. And down on ice level, we have our own Brad Savage with the champs.
Thanks very much, Mike, and congratulations to Adam, you and your team, pulling off a very dramatic victory at the end there. So congratulations to all of you. Question for you, Adam. I mean, that was obviously a thrilling finish. You know, what were your thoughts with that last shot, just having to hit the rings?
Well, it wasn't going to be easy. I was feeling a little nervous. Adrenaline was going good, and we got lucky. I think the guys really swept it well. If it hadn't hit something, I don't think we were going to get the ring. So it was well swept, and we got it in there.
Okay, and what do you think the key shot? I mean, obviously the last shot to win the game was key, but was there a shot sort of during the game that you thought might have really affected the outcome?
Well, we got down early, and we were in trouble in some of the first few ends, and Adam really pulled us out with some key last shots to keep us in the game. And you know, you can see those 4 1s on the board, and that Adam got us out of some big trouble early on. So kudos to him.
I think the last shot in the second end is what saved the game for us. Where if he had picked that rock out, he decided to, I guess, draw, lightweight shot. And instead of giving up 6, we were in the game.
Yeah, I think a 6 definitely could have affected the outcome of the game there instead of the 1. So you guys, your skipper bailed you out there. And for Craig, you guys have played this team before a couple of times. So what was it like to play a team that you're familiar with in the final of a big event like this?
I don't know that we were really familiar with them. They're a really good team, strong team. Really good hitting team, so it was a real challenge for us. I mean, they're a good team.
Well, you guys were definitely up to the challenge. So again, congratulations, and we'll send it back up to Mike.
Thanks, Brad, and congratulations again to the champions, the Leaside Curling Club, skipped by Adam Beck, and absolutely right. There was a chance for Jordan Keon's rink to pick up a 6 in the second end that would have changed the complexion of the game entirely. Instead, the big 2 for Leaside on the final stone of the game gives them the championship here at the Goldline TCA Men's Bonspiel. For all of us on Rogers TV, for Brad Savage, I'm Mike Wilner. Thanks so much for watching, and goodbye from the Thornhill Country Club.